If you're selling garden furniture, decking kits, barbecues, outdoor lighting, or any type of seasonal product and not using PMAX campaigns, well then you're definitely going to be losing sales. In this video, I'll show you why PMAX is such a good fit for seasonal products, what it does better than standard search and shopping campaigns, and how to actually make it work for you. I'm Matt Farrell, the owner of Rocket Reach PPC, and we offer PPC services to the home and garden sector. And if you're looking for help with your ads, then get in touch. Being in the seasonal products game, you already know the score. 1 minute it's dead quiet, then boom, a freak week of sun and traffic goes mental. Barbecues, fire pits, decking kits, everyone's on the scramble. But here's the problem. Standard search and shopping campaigns are just too slow to react and rely on you manually adjusting budgets and bids. So what most advertisers do is panic. Dial up budgets, pause underperforming keywords and shift money around. And what happens? Too much gets changed too quickly. Campaigns get whacked back into a learning phase which completely knackers your chances of cashing in on the spike. Not just for that week, but sometimes for weeks after. And this is exactly where PMAX can shine and where I've seen it smash standard setups out the water. If you're running Google Ads in the home and garden space and aren't getting the results you want, then let me take a look. Head over to www.rocketreachppc.com and request a free PPC audit today, and I'll personally look over your account and send you a straight-talking, no-nonsense video that highlights all of the changes you could make in your account today that will set you on the right path to online success. No hard sell, no pressure, just great advice. And if, after receiving the video, you want an expert to implement the changes, then let's get started. Either way, you'll walk away with some really useful information. So head on over to www.rocketreachppc.com now and request a completely free audit. One of the main benefits of PMAX campaigns is they utilize all of Google's platforms, all from the same campaign. It targets everywhere. So when demand spikes, you're not waiting round hoping people will find your ad. You're just there. Wherever your customers are, PMAX gets in front of them. Now here's the clever bit. Instead of splitting budget between loads of campaign tags, PMAX runs everything off one budget, which means if shopping's firing, budget will get pushed to shopping. If search starts doing better later on, it'll shift again, all on its own. You don't need to touch a thing. And just to put that into some form of real-world context, one of our seasonal retailer clients who sold stuff across all of the seasons was originally running separate shopping campaigns for each of their categories, which is totally fine if they were selling evergreen, year-round products that didn't need much monitoring. But when selling seasonal products, unless you've got someone full-time or a small product range, in my opinion, it's too much to look after properly manually. These guys would scramble to shift budgets towards spring stock in April and do exactly the same for the winter stuff in October. They had that many different ranges, the task was just too big to cope with, so ended up changing lots of things quickly to try and meet demand that they regularly cause learning phases left, right and centre. Luckily for them, they always ended up recovering, but never actually capitalised on the seasonal spikes like they should have. They had all the data and conversions they needed, so for our first task, we switched them over to PMAX campaigns. We didn't lump everything in together, we separated the ranges into seasonal-based asset groups. Summer stuff in one and winter gear in the other. And when the next heatwave hit, PMAX automatically shifted spend towards the summer lines. And guess what? Traffic exploded. Sales tripled, and all in the space of 2 weeks. No learning phase and no manual changes. And when it cooled down, the traffic spike switched again, all without intervention. In one case, we saw a 42% uplift in conversion value in just a single peak month with no drop in ROAS. Another brand had a massive uplift in first-time customers because PMAX was finding them across YouTube and discovery ads and not just in search. These uplifts very rarely happen with standard campaigns unless you give up your entire life and basically live in your ad account 24/7. But even in these cases, it's not always possible, as tweaking too much at once causes learning phases, even if Google doesn't state it's learning. Whereas PMAX makes changes constantly behind the scenes, so a much smarter option for the most. Now, don't get me wrong, PMAX isn't a magic bullet. You can't just turn it on and watch the cash roll in. To make sure you get success with your new seasonal PMAX campaigns, follow these 5 simple steps. Split products up. Don't lump heaters and barbecues together. Either create separate campaigns if you want greater control over budgets, or at the very least create separate asset groups. This way, when demand shifts, PMAX knows exactly where to focus. Add custom labels to your products. Use custom labels like spring range, summer range, or winter clearance. This gives you more control when you need it and adds a little more data for the PMAX AI. Use different creative. The main benefit of splitting products into different campaigns or asset groups is greater control, something you don't have a lot of when using PMAX. So use this to your advantage and make sure you use images, copy, and videos that match the season and products. It just gives you that little extra edge. If Google says add 20 images, add 20 relevant images. If it says 15 headings, add 15 headings. Remember, PMAX is only as good as the data that you feed it. Adjust ROAS targets. During peak season, I often drop ROAS targets slightly so PMAX can go aggressive when conversion rates are expected to be high. Basically, I release the reins a little bit and let it spend more to catch the wave. Then just pull it back later on. And finally, use the insights section. Like I've said, control is minimal with PMAX, but in here, you can still see some good info that should help you make some educated changes. And my top tip is to check the search terms report, as you can now add negative keywords. Be careful with this one though, as it's tempting to go mad with the negs. However, if you want my advice, which I'm guessing you do, is leave it well alone unless there's something massively out of place in there. PMAX works best when it learns itself. If you're still running separate search and shopping campaigns for your seasonal business, well, you're working way harder than you need to. PMAX offers flexibility, speed, and reach, and it performs especially well when demand comes in waves. So don't leave it on autopilot. Guide it, feed it, and watch it. And when it's done right, you'll definitely get the results. That's it from me. Hope you've liked the video and found it useful. If you have, give it a like and subscribe. Cheers for watching and see you next time.